Yes, guys, welcome back to part 2 of my update. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch part 1. I touch upon mainly the podcast and where I want to take it, the plans, coming guests, what I need to do from a social media standpoint, etc. and so on. And then I also touch upon gym and my travels to Barcelona. But in this part, I am going to touch upon mainly like the entrepreneurial type of things, the business side of things. So like FBA, my mindset, where I'm at, where I've been the past couple of weeks, and kind of, what's going on with me at the moment. So I guess it's only right to start from a Amazon FBA standpoint. In regards to what I last spoke to you guys about, for those that are new, I do Amazon FBA, wholesale in particular. I started off with private label. I'm going to explain them just so if they're new, they don't understand what they are. So private label is essentially you buy a product from, say, for example, Alibaba, but you put your own brand on the product. So what I did was I had a baby bib that would catch the food and any liquids that came out of the baby's mouth, and essentially I put a brand on that. I got my graphics designer Lewis. If you haven't watched the episodes with Lewis, go ahead. He's a graphics designer, best in the business, but I got him to design a animal, like it's a bunch of animals, and we slapped that on the brand, or slapped it on the bib, and then I have a brand. So the brand for those bibs are the Little Essentials. However, I think the last update that I gave is I stopped doing that private label. Reason being, mainly two things. Baby feeding category is very competitive, especially with baby bibs. I felt like it was super competitive. It was very hard for me to make a breakthrough and be unique within that niche, because the only real 3 things that you can change is the brand name, the colors of the bibs, and the design on the bibs. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with where I got to with the bibs. I sold over 1,000 bibs, but that's not to say that I made any money. So don't let these guys fool you that show you numbers and show you stats and revenue, because revenue is not profit. Someone can make 20k and make £500 profit, and that's the reality. And that's kind of the reality of what happened with my bibs. Because the margins were so small, and the way Amazon work in terms of advertising, so you have something called PPC, which is essentially pay per click. So on Amazon, pay attention to when you search in a keyword. So let's just say, for example, you type in baby bib. Whatever is on the front page has sponsored, you'll see it in grey. That seller is running advertisement for that keyword. So they may be bidding £1 for that keyword. So essentially, you come along as a customer, search in baby bib, you select on that listing, that sponsored listing, that seller now gets charged £1, and that gets taken off their profits. So deep it. If you've got a product that is giving you £1.50 profit after everything, don't include PPC. So after your FBA fees, your cost of goods, your shipping, etc., you have £1.50 left. But you're running a keyword for baby bibs at £1. If someone comes along and searches baby bib, clicks on your listing, you're now at 50p profit. However, say for example they don't buy it, so you're down 50p now. Because how Amazon works is it doesn't charge you when a customer buys. It charges you for every click. So if someone clicks, you're at £1.50 profit. You're now down to £1. They haven't bought it, so now you're down to 50p profit. A second customer comes along, clicks, you're now down £1.50. So now you're in the minus. So now you're not making no money. Another customer comes, clicks, you're now down £2.50. regardless of whether they buy it, you're down £2.50. So now the only way that you can make money is if you get an organic sale. An organic sale is essentially a listing that doesn't have any ads running on it, so any bids on it. And you can tell that because it won't have sponsored ad on it. So essentially that seller will now need to make at least 5 organic sales continuously, consecutively, in order to make money. And that's the issue that I was having. My margins were so small. I was getting like, sometimes I would get like 10 clicks on a word and get like 2 sales, and I'll just be fucked because I would make no money. And that's the story of Balamori, to be fair, in regards to my product. Don't get me wrong. Private label for me, I feel as though is where I want to go back to. But I'm going to touch upon that after I talk about Amazon FBA wholesale. So wholesale is where you buy products in bulk from suppliers. So you go to the likes of EFG Housewares, that's just one example. You get a price list, you try to get a discount, and you buy in bulk, comes to your house, you prep it. What I mean by prep is if it's required, you put it in a poly bag, and then you got to slap FN SKUs on them, which is basically just a barcode that Amazon scans when it gets to the warehouse, and obviously ship it to Amazon. So that's what I've been doing now for the past, I would say, it's coming up to a year. And in terms of figures, I can show you, or not show you, I can tell you how much I've made in the last 12 months. Product sales, last 12 months. So in the last 12 months, this is primarily wholesale, yeah. I've made 21k in revenue. Again, that is not profit. So don't think I'm some rich motherfucker that's got 21k sitting in the bank. I don't. Because I don't need to tell your margins, but the margins, whatever my margins are, you would just times that. But it's higher than 15%, my margins. However, I am struggling with wholesale to be passionate about it. Reason being is because wholesale is quite demoralizing in the sense that you can get a list from a supplier. I spoke about this on the last episode with Donald and Lewis. You can get a list of, I've had lists been sent to me that have 20k SKUs on them. So SKU is basically a product, so 20k products, and obviously I can't do that fucking manually. It's going to take me years to do that. So what you do is you put that in a software, and within that software you can create criterias and filters to narrow down your search. So you go ahead, put it in there, narrow down your searches in regards to profits, prices, ratings, etc. and so on. And then maybe that 20k is now gone down to 150k. And then you do a bit more narrow searching, deeper diving. Maybe it goes down to 5. And then from 5, those are the ones that you actually go in, check the reviews, check the listing, check the sales, see how much money you're going to make, check the price, compared how much profit you're going to make. So, the sales price and the price of the goods, see how much money you're making from there. And I'll be real, 9 times out of 10, those products that you think are going to be successful, those 10 that you've narrowed down to, crap, 0, nothing works. You're in minus profits, or you're just about breaking even, or you may be making money, but it's literally only like 10p. That's not my business model. That may work for some. Like, don't get me wrong, if the product is selling 50,000 times a month and you're getting at least, this is a very hypothetical situation, and you're getting at least 4k worth of those sales at 10p, you know what I mean? It may be worth doing it, but for me, I just don't bother with them. They're too small. Margins are too little for me to excite me, for me to pursue buying a lot. So that's where I've had to deal with the fact that, you get these lists, you go through them, you get no products. They're all crap, or it may be a product that has good profit, but then Amazon is selling on it. And my rule of thumb is you don't sell when Amazon is selling. So you just have to firm it and move forward. But what I said to Donald and Lewis is discounts. Discounts makes a major difference when it comes to FBA wholesale. That list of 20k, and now you've got 30% discount on those products, it's a big jump. So now you're making a lot more money. there's a lot more room in regards to you may have had 10 products. Now you may have 60 products. And out of those 60, you're more than likely going to find one or two. So what I'm really trying to focus on now is just trying to build those relationships with the suppliers, buying, consistently, buying large orders, and just small talk, like literally small talk, calling them if you haven't spoken to them in like a week, asking how they are, how's business, how's your weekend, is there any trends, like literally small talk. Ask for their birthdays. I know that sounds really strange, but ask for their birthdays because they will appreciate the fact that, and even buy them a gift maybe on their birthday, some chocolates or some wine or some flowers, whatever it may be. That will go a long way in regards to being able to ask for those discounts, because I have a supplier that gave me 40% off discount of a product, and that product is now making me like £2 profit per sale, and I sell about 150, 300 on a good day, on a good month. Not to say that I'm doing that now, but that's what it could be. I've literally got some stock at home. After this update, I need to go home and prep them, ready to ship out tomorrow. But Amazon as a whole is not as easy as people say it is. All these gurus, I don't even want to call them gurus, but people that offer courses. It's funny because now that I watch them and I join these Discords and I watch those videos and I think to myself, like, bro, from an experienced FBA seller, I just feel as though, no, you're getting away with so much here. Like, you're not scamming them, but you're putting this image in their head that you can just, do it and start making money. Don't get me wrong, you can. You really, really can. It depends how hard and it depends how bad you want it, right? And that's with most things in life. It depends how bad you want it and not to give up. And to stay persistent with it and walk in faith. Have faith knowing that, cool, right now I'm in a predicament. I fucking don't want to do it, but I know that if I stay at it, I'm going to get to where I'm going to get to. But with wholesale, I'm really contemplating whether I actually enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, it's lit when you find a product. It's amazing when you find a product. And you put them in your spreadsheets and maybe you have 5 or 6 products and then you add up all the profits and you can be making 3k. But that's only on a spreadsheet. You first got to order those products, prep them and actually sell them. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of the prepping side of things, it's quite enjoyable. The other day I literally had 500 light bulbs that came to my house. They were sold in a pack of 2, so I had 250 units. Literally spent about maybe 4 hours just prepping that. That's a small order compared to what some of these big guys are doing. So yeah, I really need to fix up on it. But I'm thinking to myself, is private label what I really want to do? And I think it is. So I'm in a predicament now where I'm thinking to myself, shall I stop doing wholesale and do FBA private label? Because I've got so many ideas of products and I like it. My strengths in terms of due diligence, attention to detail, and so on is all in private label, because at the end of the day, you have to find a product, design the images, get the graphics and all that stuff. And I love doing stuff like that, building it from the ground up. But obviously it's harder. And the experience that I've had with PPC, that's the only thing that's fucking putting me off right now is PPC. So yeah, it's going well. I'm making profit. That's the main thing. But I just need to pattern up in regards to staying consistent with it and walking in faith, knowing that I'm gonna be able to get to where I want to get to. But yeah, from an Amazon FBA standpoint, that's where I stand. If anyone is I know a lot of people have messaged me about getting into Amazon FBA. Don't waste my time, please. I've had so many people message me, say, oh yeah, I want to get into FBA, rah, 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 ta, ta. And then I start speaking to them about it, and then they just don't want nothing to do with it. They're not serious. So please don't waste my time. If you are looking to get into it, message me, drop me a message on Instagram. Obviously all my details are in the description, so just go ahead. Even if you're just generally trying to find out, how to get started, I'm more than happy to help. So yeah, from Amazon FBA standpoint, that's my update. Whether you find that interesting, that's up to you. Whether you did, great, amazing. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. But now I want to touch upon kind of like my mindset, kind of the personal issues that I've been going through more recently. I'm not going to do it from when I fucking did my last audio update, but I would say the last month for me has been a bit rough from a mindset standpoint. in the sense that I just generally feel lost. Well, I felt lost. I don't really feel lost now because a few things are picking up. But I felt lost in the sense that, obviously I work a 9 to 5, right? And my 9 to 5 right now, or for the past 6 months, has not been busy at all. It hasn't been busy at all. When I tell you guys, you wouldn't think that I work a 9 to 5. Some people will say, that's amazing, that's great, you're basically getting paid to do nothing. Not for me. I'm not a person that can sit on their ass, especially in a 9 to 5 aspect, and just get paid. That's too boring for me. And, when you work a 9 to 5, you have a structure, right? You get up, you would go to the gym beforehand. Well, I would anyway. Go to gym beforehand, come back, eat my calories. I would stay on a diet. And obviously 9 to 5, you're only really focusing on that. You don't really have time to do anything else. But all the time that I have now is actually a curse. And I'm going to quote Jessica from Rick and Morty. And this is how you know that I'm a fanboy of Rick and Morty. Jessica says, time without purpose is a curse. And you know what? That has stuck with me so much. Because if you just wake up with no schedule, no routine, no habits, you don't know what you're doing, you don't have no drive, you don't have no motivation, you don't have no self-discipline, which is most important, you're going to feel lost. And that's how I felt, because I didn't have the self-discipline to be able to pick my Amazon FBA business back up. Because I was in a weird predicament where I kind of wanted to leave my job and not find a new one and use my credit cards, etc. and so forth to leverage my Amazon FBA business. But then I was thinking to myself, could be a bit risky. You know my thing, I'm a bit of a risk taker, but that one was a bit mad. And then I told myself, or you just get a job, because regardless, if you get on a new project within your company, you're going to be on the same wage, but your time is going to get lost. So you might as well find a new job, get a higher wage, because your time's going to get taken up anyway. So that's what I've done. I'm hoping to hear some good news soon about a job. Got invited for a second interview. It's one of those ones where you make the first stage, it's kind of a possibility that you've got the job, but let's pray that I get the job. If part of God's plan, it will happen. So hopefully next time you hear an update, or next time I'm on a episode, I have a new job. But yeah, I've just generally been feeling very lost recently, and that's impacted. It's just spiraled down to everything else. So my routines, my habits, all out the window. Going back to gym, I have not been going to gym. With me, I need to eat a certain amount of calories to be able to put my certain amount of weight on to get to my goal. But I need to wake up early because I need to fit all my calories in. I'm just not doing that because no one is telling me to do it, and that's the issue. No one is telling me to go to the gym at 5 a.m. and have a cold shower at 4:30. No one is telling me to do that. And I was listening to a motivational video the other day, and I'm just scrapping the concept of motivation completely. Because one thing that I'm starting to prioritize and focus on is fucking doing something regardless of how I feel. And that's the difference between self-discipline and motivation. Motivation, you only do things when you feel like it. So, and like I said to Donald in an episode, don't delay things based on your feelings or perfect timing. Motivation is used for a lot of people to get them to do something to make them feel good. Like they need an external force to do something when the self-discipline can't work. But I generally don't believe in motivation, because you're basically telling me I only go to the gym when I feel like it. Because when you feel motivated, you feel good, you feel a bit happier. Then you start going to the gym, your habits start to be consistent. Whereas when you just focus on self-discipline, and regardless of how you flipping feel, you do what needs to be done, you're always going to outperform the person that focuses on motivation. And that is one thing that I am just trying to prioritize, is regardless of how I feel, get up and do what needs to be done. I don't care if I'm tired and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I got no sleep and I went to bed at 2 o'clock. I need to get up at 5 to go to the gym. I don't care if you don't want to go to the gym. Go to the gym. That's going to build character. It's going to make you a better person. And that's literally what I'm trying to focus on. I literally have written it down in my room. Do whatever the fuck you need to do regardless of how you feel. And I feel like that's so important. So guys, if you are listening, there's no perfect timing. Whatever you do is never going to be 100% all the time. There's going to be days where you feel like crap. There's going to be days where you're fucking tired. There's going to be days where you feel on top of the world. There's going to be days where you feel low. But regardless of the situation that you're in, you have to push through and have faith. When I say faith, regardless of whether you're religious or not, my definition of faith is sticking to whatever you're doing, knowing that, yes, I'm in a low point in my life, but I know that this is just a crack in the road that I'm going to overcome. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. So keep pushing, know your goals, know why you're doing what you're doing, and ultimately you'll get to where you go to. Because I'm going to quote another one from Mel Robbins. She says to herself that I say to myself is, there's no way in hell that you can put forward 120% every single day and not be successful. It's impossible. There's no way. I don't know anyone that has worked extremely hard, stayed consistent with their habits, has a championship routine, has faith, manifests, meditates, whatever it may be. I don't know anyone that has not been successful, that has got through life just tiptoeing, So always tell yourself when you're waking up at 5 a.m. or whatever you're doing, regardless of what it is, if you don't feel like doing it and you've done it, that's you putting in 120%. So keep pushing and just know that stick through it. There's going to be better days to come. You're not going to feel like 1,000% all the time. Expect those days to come. And just know that you need to stay disciplined and strong enough to do the actions that you need to do, because that's what I'm trying to focus on. And I think that is singularly the most important thing in conjunction with mindset. I don't want to touch upon it too much, but at the end of the day, I wrote something down because I'm reading a book, Think and Grow Rich. For anyone that's trying to get into business or just mindset in general, or wants to get rich or wants to have a rich mindset. Rich doesn't have to necessarily mean monetary, but I'm a big believer of this. It's a well-known fact that one comes finally to believe whatever one repeats to oneself, whether the statement be true or false. If a person repeats a lie over and over, the lie will eventually be accepted as true. Meaning, if you, right now, for example, we have a person A, if they know they're not rich because their bank account doesn't show it, but they keep telling themselves, they repeat it day after day after day, they say it with feeling, they say it with emotion. The laws of the universe, the law of perpetual transmutation, the non-physical must always manifest into the physical, meaning the spirit has to move into physical form, the spirit being you wanting to be rich. If I tell myself with feeling and emotion is the most important part, that I am going to be rich, I am going to make X amount, I am going to get this job, I am going to lose weight, I am going to be able to travel the world whenever I want. If you keep repeating yourself to yourself every single day, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between reality and physical, negative and positive. Only your conscious mind does, because it's the reasoning mind. Again, I don't want to go into this because I could talk another whole hour about it. But essentially, your reasoning mind gives you the ability to accept. We all have it. So you can accept or reject the idea that you are ugly, you are fat, you are rich, you are poor. If you are poor, don't accept the fact that you are poor. Accept the fact that you are wealthy, prosperous, and rich in abundance. And if you say that to yourself over and over and over and over again, it will eventually get impressed into your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind does not have the ability to accept or reject. It just takes it as to whatever it is. And if that reaches the subconscious mind, it must move into physical form. It's a law. It's a universal law. I know a lot of people won't understand that, but this is what I study. It is a universal law. So if your subconscious mind has now accepted the fact that you're rich or you're earning 10k a month in profit, by law, it has to move into form in the most appropriate way possible, whatever that may be. That's how it works. So affirmations, positive self-talk is so important. Repetition, and that is it. And that's one area that, me telling you now acts it's kind of like a facade. It's kind of like I'm telling you because I'm doing it. I'm slacking as well. Don't get it twisted. I need to work on that stuff as well. Because I've said it before, if you can master your mind and be a person that can manifest your goals, I truly believe anyone can accomplish anything that they want in life. And it's just about not being ignorant, being able to understand and apply. Apply is the most important thing. There's no point reading a book if you're not going to take action on what the person is telling you to do. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it, but just make sure, baby steps. And then again, you want to focus on getting 1% better every single day. Again, that's what I'm trying to focus on, because in my previous episodes, you know that I am very much, I try to do everything all at once, and then I get disheartened. One of my habits falls apart, the rest fall apart. So I really need to start focusing on step by step, 1%, 1%, because at the end of the day, I'm only going to become a better person. So yeah, that's my whole little motivational speech for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed the update that I've given. I've tried to make it as engaging as possible. Like I said, this is the first video update. Most of them have been audio updates, but nonetheless, I hope you guys have enjoyed or are enjoying the episodes that I have with my guests. Like I said, I have got some good ones coming up. Feel free to reach out if you have a story to tell. If you know anyone, let me know. Message me on Instagram. I'm more than happy, to help out the person, whoever you give to me. As long as they've got an interesting story, that's fine. But in terms of an update, I don't think I have anything else. Hopefully, like I said, fingers crossed we get this job and I can start allocating my time to my business. I didn't mention what I was going to mention, but fuck it. It is what it is. Guys, I've been your host, Mario. I hope you have enjoyed the update, and I will catch you on the next episode. Peace.